Yeah, no, I think the interesting thing for all of this, for me, psychologically, is you can only give me the plan. You know, the accountability is still on me, and I probably didn't think like that, you know, two years ago. But I've never in my life had a kind of feeling of I almost can't wait to get on that run, because it's the one run where I can try and beat the previous time, and I know that previous time is my best ever time, and it's becoming quite a nice self-fulfilling prophecy, because it's almost, you can just feel the sort of minutes coming off, which is good. I think in the past I've been a perennial sort of binge on both sides. I either go very hard at something and try and really push, or I completely lapse. And I think the last handful of years, you know, kind of the combination of work and kids, life, wife, everything else, I probably use that as a bit of an excuse to kind of not keep myself in control. Just not really having enough time or willpower to kind of put some structure around everything. So it used to massively frustrate me that I could go from feeling pretty comfortable one month and then pretty distraught the next. And I've sort of slightly lived in that cycle probably for the last, 8 to 10 years, I've thought, in some sort of, just becomes quite difficult to sort of deal with, because I'm never quite consistent. So I never put a routine in place. It never meant I was actually aiming for anything. If left to my own devices, I have an ability to kind of wander off and focus on a million things and never get anything done. Definitely weight's been a bit of a topical thing for myself. I've always been on the sort of upper end and always had a sort of challenge on it. And then a combination of a bust back, surgery on the shoulder and everything. But a lot of these feel like more looking back as excuse police things rather than actual real things, because now when I look back, I don't see any of those as issues anymore, because I've almost trained my way out of them. So I then was also unable to kind of structure my day properly, so I then didn't either exercise at all or in the right way. When I first came in to see you, I think I was probably at my lowest ebb. It's kind of like I'm not long till I'm 40. If I don't get this bloody solved, I'm going to become 50 and I won't have done it.
You did our 28-day challenge. It came out pretty fast and you got a result and you did really well. But then there was a period where you were struggling, and I noticed particularly within attendance, you were always working really, really hard every time you turned up to the session, but you were finding it difficult to fit in the sessions initially.
I didn't organise at home how to sort the kids out between us. I didn't just check with work the timings correctly. So so invariably I'd either be late, miss, find out I can't. My shared family calendar now, pops up with my, classes. And we got in a bit of a rigorous thing on. Routine thing on the Sunday night of wading through the diary for the week. Who's doing the nursery run, who's picking up from school, who's staying late this day, what day do you want to train, what day do you want to train, all of that.
That's the reality, because you think when you start a fitness program, I'm just going to eat better and train. Yeah. But actually what you spend your time doing is trying to master the timetable. It's the kind of bit that you can't sell in a meal plan or a 28-day challenges.
It is well known in my household that my time is 8 p.m. on a Wednesday and 8 a.m. on Saturday, and they're pretty much levels. Everything else is sort of. I now know those. So that everything else is sort of flexed around those two dates. The Ironman thing was actually part of the original coming to see you in the first place, because I'd always whinged to myself and my wife that I wanted to do something that tested that sort of endurance. It was on my sort of bucket list to really try and push myself. But I've been talking about it for years, and it was part of the whole problem with the routine. I've never got my arse into gear to do anything. I never really pushed it. And then it was my sixth anniversary. I'm just sort of losing track of the date of this. 6th anniversary last June, which is actually iron. So so I got my wife an iron antique and a scooter, and she signed me up to an Ironman. So to be fair, the Ironman was a bit of a put your money where your mouth is from my wife. But anyway, yeah. So when I spoke to you about what we do about this, what I acknowledged quite quickly was it was a different level of base fitness I needed. The volume is higher than I've ever done, and also quite varied. So it actually doesn't feel boring. It's doing enough stuff to kind of, it doesn't feel like I'm just every day trudging up doing something mundane that you kind of.
We've not had I mean, the interesting thing is the way that I've been programming it for you is we actually haven't had any deload weeks. So that's, so far we've been training since the first week of January. We're on week 14, and there's not been a single deload week. There's not been a single day off from what I think we've given 1 day off, and that's because you did 7 days in a row or two things in 1 day. So we gave you a day off for that. But really, you've had no injuries. You're recovering well. You've obviously lost weight, so you're hitting your weight loss goals. So you're starting to trim up for the race kind of weight you need to be.
You can only give me the plan. You know, the accountability is still on me, and I probably didn't think like that. You know, two years ago. I think I probably thought it would be a bit of a get on a treadmill for half an hour and I'll be kind of there. And I've realised actually even in 14 weeks, I've still got massive gains I can still make. I'm still nowhere near where I could ultimately want to get to. So but I've never in my life had a kind of feeling of I almost can't wait to get on that run, because it's the one run where I can try and beat the previous time, and I know that previous time is my best ever time, and it's becoming quite a nice self-fulfilling prophecy, because it's almost, you could just feel the sort of minutes coming off, which is good. On a metrics perspective, I mean, I have not weighed my current weight probably since I was in my late teens, probably early teens actually. I've never been all green on my sort of the app around BMI, fat percentage, weight, waist to height ratios. All of those have moved in the green. Fat percentage now, sort of just lingering just under 15. No, I haven't had a fat percentage below 15 for wouldn't even be able to tell you. And that was when I met you, was 23. So I think I was 91 kilos down to 80 kilos, 23% body fat down to 15. So so I get the app isn't lying. Because I think what I've done previously, a curveball would hit me on a Monday. I'd have then said, I won't do something on the Monday, and then it trips into the Tuesday. I realise I've got too much to do on a Tuesday, and it trips into Wednesday. By the time I get to the Friday, I've not done anything. And I'll use excuses that work got in the way. So I'm almost having to really, really tell myself each week, that's just almost not acceptable. The way it works is really positive. So, being really candid, I tried personal trainers before and failed. They either got too cost prohibitive for a single person, or I didn't really feel like I was kind of on a journey for anything. So they never really got anywhere. And I think the method of the different types of classes with the interaction with other people, an ability to have a flexible way of training in terms of timetables is hugely important to me, because I kind of know which classes I want to go to, so I kind of know what I'm going to get from them. I kind of know my time's a bit precious, so actually having that bit of flexibility, is really, really useful. And getting to know everyone who's then in the similar classes to me, and just having sort of that bounce off, so it's not an isolated experience, is actually really helpful as well. So I really like that sort of blend. And then knowing all the coaches for best part of 2 or 3 years is another real positive.